Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Southwest.
For the top 5 home run hitters in the American League since the All-Star break. All here at the Oakland Coliseum. So if you're a fan of the long ball, you're in the right place. 10 home runs in the first 2 games of this series. Now, to see if this power demonstration can continue in this series finale. Next. Rangers baseball is presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. And what a beautiful day in the East Bay as we get ready for the finale in this 3-game series, Rangers and A's. And indeed, it has been about the long ball. Guys like Beltre, Davis, et al. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again this afternoon. I'm Dave Raymond alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve, and it has been kind of a power display here. 10 home runs in the first 2 games. I don't know if they can keep that pace, but one guy who has definitely been in the middle of it and is so much fun to watch has been Adrian Beltre.
He has, Dave. There's no doubt about that. It's been hard for Adrian playing with a hamstring injury to generate power. Without your legs, you're swinging with your arms and you can't drive the ball. However, in the last 7 games, he's hit 5 home runs. He's learning how to hit with a sore leg, but more than that, it looks like he's starting to feel much better physically. You can tell the way he's turning on these balls and hitting them with authority to left field. But with Adrian, it's all about the history. And every day he has a milestone. He now has 3,152 hits, tied with Paul Wainer for 16th place, only 2 behind George Brett. After yesterday, 474 home runs, 32nd, going past Carlos Delgado, 1 back of Stan the Man and Willie Stargell, 1,141 extra base hits, that's 14th. He passed Ty Cobb. He's only 16 back of Yaz for 13th place.
Yeah, it has been a treat to watch him and his continued quest at history. And the Rangers, I don't know what you call it, history, but definitely exploring some new realms lately. And today, with their starting pitching, similar story once again. Jeffrey Springs will be the opener today for Ariel Jurado. Just like last time out against the Angels on Monday. Well, the two combined for 6 shutout innings when they pulled that off earlier in the week. And so hopes are that they can do that kind of trick again here today in Oakland. That's a pretty good challenge. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Trevor Cahill, who has been such a great story for Oakland.
That's been such a surprise. He didn't sign until late in spring training, but on the season, he's 6-3 with a nice ERA. Opponents are hitting less than .230 against him. He's had a start against Texas in July, gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. He's struggled in his last 3 starts. His ERA is close to 7, but he's unbeaten at home. He's 5-0 with a 1.09 ERA.
A's have leaned on him. They need him. And the Rangers, meanwhile, hoping to get a win in this series today. Adrian Beltre, maybe it should come as no surprise that he's hit some home runs in this series. We'll put him and his home run prowess here in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. Shiner Light Blonde, it's light done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Well, it is time for our Shiner Light Blonde spotlight. I suppose Beltre hitting home runs here should be no news at all.
Yeah, and he's done well in this stadium, too. He's hit 16 home runs here, knocked in 68 runs. Pretty nice career in this ballpark. In this series, he's added to those numbers. He's 3 for 6. He's hit a couple of home runs, a double. He's scored 3, and he's knocked in 3. So he's had good numbers in his career, and he's added to them very nicely in the first 2 games of this series.
Well, hope he can continue that this afternoon here in the final game of this 3-game series. Rangers hoping to get a win out of this series before leaving town. Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. Delano DeShields leading it off in center, Chu the DH, and Rougned Odor at second base bats third. It's Mazara, Beltre, and Profar in the middle. Ronald Guzman at first, Willie Calhoun with a start in left field, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa catching and rounding out the order.
Let's take a look at Trevor Cahill and show our Shiner Light Blonde pitch arsenal. Cahill is a severe sinker ball pitcher. He only throws 3% four-seam fastballs. Most of his fastballs are the two-seam sinking variety. He throws a lot of cutters, a lot of changeups, and a lot of curveballs. He's kind of the definition of a finesse pitcher.
So Cahill ready to go. DeShields steps in as the leadoff man today. That was weird, by the way. Jefferson Airplane White Rabbit was the song that either brought Cahill out or You're Just in Oakland. Is the first pitch to DeShields. This is for ball 1. A 107 start here in Oakland. Sunshine, gorgeous weather. What else is new? And that's a little in, 2-0.
Yeah, Cahill has such good movement on his sinker that sometimes he has trouble throwing strikes with it. He can almost start it out in the middle of the plate, and then it dive bombs out of the strike zone. Sometimes it has so much movement.
And he is off on his first 3 offerings to Delano DeShields. That would be a nice way for this one to start. Get Delano on base and maybe even take advantage of his speed. DeShields 1 for 3 yesterday. Batting at the bottom of the order, and now in the leadoff spot watches 4 bad ones, so he's aboard.
Yeah, if you're facing the Rangers, I think one of the things you say when Delano's the leadoff hitter is, I'm going to make Delano put the ball in play and get on base with a hit. Even if you're a 300 hitter, 70% of the time you're not going to be able to do that. But don't walk him. That's pretty much what you're going to say. Don't give him a free pass to first base and kind of the license to get on base and make things happen.
It's the 40th time this year that Delano has walked. And so he is aboard. 18 stolen bases in 21 tries. Chu, meanwhile, steps in, batting in the 2-hole. And Delano's running. First pitch. Pegley's throw. That one skips, and it's not in time. And Delano DeShields with his 19th stolen base.
Well, you know that Delano has been frustrated by the injuries, the time on the disabled list, going down to the minor leagues. He's dying to get on first base and do that, steal a base. It's almost probably tearing him up inside. Couldn't wait. First pitch, off he goes to steal second base. Just a, an indication and a sign of what the Rangers have missed, not having him in the lineup consistently all season long. He struggled a little bit offensively, but it's such an important part of the Rangers offense, him leading off and getting on base.
Bob Melvin was thinking about challenging that one, maybe thinking that Delano had bounced off the base momentarily, but decides instead just to move on. Now with I think it's a different looking lineup. Now Delano, the key to that, of course, is Delano getting on base at a decent clip. But boy, when he does, he changes the look and feel of this offense pretty dynamically. Chu sprays that one to the left side. It's 0-2.
No, the Rangers have other candidates to lead off, but they don't have anybody like Delano. Delano has made nice strides defensively in center field, where he's gone from a guy that's trying to learn how to get good jumps on the ball to a guy that's rated above average defensively in center field. Speed's a big part of that. getting on base and making things happen. He's the best the Rangers have. As you say, Dave, though, it's all about getting on base.
Yeah, his on-base average coming in was .302, and that's a shade below league average. But it's been one of those years, too. You mentioned the injuries, just the inconsistency in playing time, largely because of that. And at times, there have been stretches where he struggled. 1-2. And that one is low. So it'll even things up on Chu. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, Cahill, one of the few healthy arms that the A's have in their rotation. This is his 19th start. 6 wins, 3 losses, and a .360 ERA. Two. That one runs inside a full count.
Tough pitch to lay off of right there. A big curveball. It looked like it started at the top of the strike zone. It breaks straight down, but so many guys are going to swing at that pitch. Chu didn't even begin to swing at that pitch. That's how well he recognizes the pitch out of the pitcher's hand and the discipline that he has not to be over anxious and swing at it.
On payoff. And that one is inside, back to back.
A's defense brought to you by Jack in the Box. For the A's, Nick Martini is back with the team in left field. Ramon Laureano in center field. Steven Piscotty in right field. In the infield, Matt Chapman is at third. Matt Olson is at first. Up the middle, Marcus Semien. Lowry gets the day off. Franklin Barreto plays second base, and Josh Fegley will catch. And Jonathan Lucroy gets a rare day off behind the plate. Lucroy's caught more games than any catcher in the American League.
Well, Cahill now has created a bit of a mess for himself. 2-men aboard, and Odor stepping in at the left side. And that one misses low. And you can hear some of the fans here getting restless. Oakland has taken the first 2 games of this series. The A's, their record 86-57. They're only 3.5 games behind Houston in the American League West Division. They feel, and I mean it's probably right, that they kind of have to win every game if they're going to win the division. They do not have head-to-heads left against Houston, so there's some pressure. There's that one inside, and it goes 2-0 on Odor, and yeah, that's going to earn a visit. Slow start here for Cahill.
Cahill's thrown 12 pitches, and only 2 of them have been strikes. And most of them haven't really been all that close. There aren't many pitchers that have a more disparate home road split than Trevor Cahill. Trevor Cahill at home is 5-0 with a 1.09 ERA. 9 starts. 9 starts on the road. He's 1-3 with an ERA over 7. So he's been unbeatable at home. But he's also struggled lately in his last 3 starts. He's walked 9 in 13 innings, given up 10 runs in 13 innings. So as nice a season as he's had, there might be some signs that he's starting to tire as we get toward the end of the season.
And Scott Emerson back in the dugout after the visit. And Cahill misses again, 3-0. So a walk to the Shields, and he missed on all 4 pitches. Delano then stole second. Chu in a lengthier at bat fell behind 0-2, but then he eventually walked. And Cahill now 3-0 to Odor. And that's inside, ball 4. 3 walks to open the game.
Yeah, this is a guy that is 6-3 on the season with a 3.60 ERA. This is a massive struggle so far. It's up to the Rangers now to capitalize and put a big number on the board here in the first inning.
So Cahill, incapable of getting it in the strike zone at the moment, will now deal with Nomar Mazara.
Ruby adds to his career high walk total. That's his 39th walk of the season. Doesn't sound like a huge number, and it's not, but it's a nice step forward for Ruby. He's never walked that much in his brief major league career.
First pitch to Nomar, and that one is low and in. Ball one. Great RBI spot here for Mazzara. For the last 10 games, well, he and Stephen Piscotty on the other side of the field, those two have the most RBIs in the American League in the last 10 games. Nomar with 12 of them. He's driven in 2 in this series, 3 for 8. And he takes ball 2.
And the A's are going to have to get some action down in the bullpen. It's 16 pitches, 14 out of 16 pitches have been out of the strike zone. And it's not like they're tempting pitches for the umpire. These are no-brain calls for the umpire. They're not even close.
Well, Nomar, 2-0 the count, and he's swinging. Hits this one high in the air out to left field. It's taking Martini back. That's a little trouble with the sun, but he'll make the catch. Delino tags and scores. 1-0 Rangers on the sac fly.
Batting in the 5th position.
The runners stay put, but our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. And Sean Kelly, who we saw yesterday. Was it yesterday? Just say we've seen him in the series. Yeah, we saw him yesterday in the 4th.
We saw a lot of guys yesterday. 2, 4, 6. We saw 7 relievers yesterday.
Well, the expanded rosters, Oakland is more than enough relief pitching to get through a game if they need to. But this is the one of 3 starters that they expect to go out there and eat some innings. Runners go, and now a throw down to first base. Odor caught between first and second. And racing back to first. I'm not sure he ever got tagged. He didn't. And Odor back in there safely. Chu will have a steal of third. The A's may choose to review this, but Odor got into a little game of pickle over there.
Odor thinks he's out.
Yeah, he needs to get back to first. He was headed back to the dugout. That might be all that Bob Melvin needed to see to decide
if they review it. New York doesn't see that. Yeah, this is just a foot race back to the bag.
Moreno had the baseball in the bare hand, and the question is, did he?
He touched him. He's out. It looked like.
Well, Oakland is going to review it.
Yeah, the Rangers. You'd hate to run yourself out of this kind of an inning. You've got the bases loaded. He's only thrown 2 strikes. 2-0. Nomar swung at the pitch and got a sacrifice fly. But the way that Cahill was having problems throwing strikes, just like to make him work a little harder to throw more strikes. Odor is out at first base. You're on the verge now of only getting 1 run. And a bases loaded, no-out jam, and a 2-0 count on the hitter, and a pitcher that was struggling to even come close to throwing a strike.
A Ford replay challenge, and they overturn it. He is called out. Wow. We were not able to get a clean look at the right hand. It was blocked in pretty much all the views we had. But we have mentioned before, the replay central back in New York, they have different views that we do not possess, and they're
if he's touching him right there, then he's out. So it's just not a real good turn of events if you're a Ranger fan when you looked at the way this inning started and where it is right now.
Beltre swings at the next pitch, lofts it out to left field, and like that, the inning is done. No stolen base for Chu. The caught stealing of Odor, and the Beltre fly out, and poof, there it goes. 1-0 Texas.
But pretty frustrating finish to it. Well, the guy who was unable to throw strikes. Let's take a look at the A's starting lineup now, though. Ramon Laureano in center field, Chapman at third, Piscotty in right. Davis, Olson, Marcus Semien, the shortstop, at sixth. Barreto, Josh Fagley, and Nick Martini in left field rounded out for Oakland. Boy, Cahill couldn't throw a strike. Mazara swung 2-0. Now, he did get a sac fly out of it, but swinging at a pitch when there's really no indication that Cahill could throw a strike. And then the caught stealing, and then the fly out on the one pitch. And that was amazing how quickly 3 consecutive walks just evaporated.
Yeah, and I'm not forever taking the bat out of a hitter's hand and telling a hitter not to be aggressive. I mean, that's one of the hallmarks of being a successful hitter. But under those circumstances, bases loaded, he's only thrown 2 strikes, and you've got a 2-0 count. That might have been a time to make the pitcher work a little bit harder.
Laureano lifts one out to right center field. The Shields glides underneath it. 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Jeffrey Springs, the opener today for the Rangers, just as he was on Monday. And boy, he was locked in Monday in that first experiment for him against the Angels. Really looked good in the first inning. Now he gave up a couple of hits in the second. But this is his second opportunity at this sort of a situation.
I think the Rangers have to be pretty pleased with what they've seen from Jeffrey Springs on the season. He's pitched in 11 games. 1 of them has been a start, but he's pitched 20 innings now. He's only given up 18 hits, strikeout per inning, shown a very effective fastball and a nice changeup. And I think if you just look at the 20 innings that you've seen at the big league level, all you've seen is an indication that he has a chance to be a really nice pitcher in the Ranger bullpen.
Goes 1-1 on Matt Chapman. Pretty good numbers all the way around for Chapman this year. And he'll lift this one high in the air out to left. Got too far underneath it, though. Calhoun waiting. And there are 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered by the Texas Department of Transportation. Willie Calhoun gets the start in left. Delino's back in center. Nomar Mazara in right field. Infield has Adrian Beltre playing at third base. Ronald Guzman at first. Up the middle, Jurickson Profar gives Elvis a day off. Rubned is at second. And behind the plate, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Look at Izzy behind the plate.
Springs goes up and out to Stephen Piscotty, third place hitter today for Oakland. 22 homers for Piscotty and the 73 RBIs. It's been a really good year for him. 38 doubles. Springs sneaks that one in there. It's 1-1. It's a slow start for Piscotty. Really from about some point in May on. More or less coincides with the run the Oakland A's have made as a team. Piscotty has been a really huge part of their offensive push. Former St. Louis Cardinal. Grew up nearby here. And he's hitting nearly .350 over the last 19 games now. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out. First strikeout of the afternoon for Jeffrey Springs, and he posts a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first, Rangers with the early lead. WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. Runs scored since the beginning of August. The Red Sox with 200 runs. The Rangers second most, 186 runs. Second most in baseball. This has been a very good offense as Profar takes a strike from Cahill, and Cahill gets somewhat of a mocking cheer from the home crowd. Profar 16 home runs this year, 70 RBIs. It's 0-2. So Cahill in that first inning, how about that walk? The first 3 batters of the game, the first time in his career.
Yeah, for the way he was throwing, 3 walks and a 2-0 count, to give up 1 run is a minor miracle. He got a little bit of help from the Rangers.
Profar couldn't quite hold up, and he strikes out to start the second inning, 1 away.
He doesn't throw a lot of pitches near the middle of the plate, and a lot of the strikes that he gets are swings at pitches out of the strike zone. There's a curveball in the dirt that he got Jurickson to offer at. Not a fun guy to face. Ball's all over the place, moving all over the place. He throws change-ups, cutters, curveballs, a little bit of everything. You really have to be patient against a guy like this. Make him get the ball up and throw it in the strike zone. Opponents on the season, 18 starts, are only hitting .227 against him.
He's got a no-hitter going right now. Next pitch out to center field. Laureano closes on it, 2 away. MLB at bat. It's your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Your Rangers home screen icons, things like the MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and you get the idea. There's a lot there. Download MLB at bat today. Willie Calhoun getting a start today in left field. He bats 8th, and the first pitch has him jumping rope. Calhoun, in his second year with the Rangers, made his debut last season in the back end of the year, and this year it's been a little bit harder for him. This is his second stint with a big club. He was up earlier when Nomar Mazara was on the disabled list back in late July and early August, but for the most part spent the year at AAA Round Rock. Hit .294, 9 homers, 32 doubles, and drove in 47 runs. Cahill's 1-1 pitch, and that's off the plate. Calhoun, in his time with the Rangers this year, hitting .271. It's a home run, 9 RBIs, but getting on base better than league average clip. And hits this ball hard to the right side, foul. 2-2. A lot of conversation yesterday before and after the game. Jeff Bannister asked a lot of questions about Willie Calhoun. Willie talked quite a bit about his future plans and ways in which he feels he can improve his chances at really competing and contributing to the Rangers. And one of them is he wants to improve his eating habits, get in better shape. And he takes inside ball 4. 4th walk already for the Rangers.
Yeah, and I'm all for that, and good for him. But at the same time, I would think that would be the game plan of every player who's playing high school ball, college ball, minor league ball. That's something when a fan looks down at the field, a fan can say and be right. The one thing I could do as well as a big league player is I can be in shape. There's really no excuse for not being in shape. So I applaud Willie for taking those steps. But my question to him would be, why didn't you think of that a little while ago? If you come to spring training this year after being traded, promising AAA seasons, you know, a chance to make the team, Boy, that seems like it would have been a great time to be in the best shape you've ever been in your life. But better late than never. And hopefully that'll be something that pays off, and he'll come to spring training and be a little bit quicker, which will help him in the outfield, help him on the bases. No one doubts the fact that he can hit. But if you want to be a big league player and a good one, then you have to do more than hit.
He's on out there in front of Kiner Falefa. 0-2 the count to Isaiah. And he rolls this one toward third base. Chapman positioned well, and he'll throw out Kiner Falefa to complete the inning. So we played 1.5 in Oakland. Rangers have the early 1-0 lead. There's nothing like a crowded parking lot in Oakland.
Well, you don't see one that packed very often unless it's a football game. So it's a great day for a ball game. Sunday afternoon, perfect weather. Nice to see that big crowd out here at the ballpark.
Yeah, they're looking forward to Monday Night Football here tomorrow. So maybe they're just getting here early.
Camping out, maybe.
Well, we go to the bottom of the second inning. And Davis takes upstairs for a ball. Davis, Olsen, and Marcus Semien. You know, this in the Bay Area, you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, skyline of San Francisco, Pacific Ocean. 1-1 the count. But we got a good shot on that parking lot. It's all right. Davis, to the surprise of very few, is homered in this series. It just seems to be what he does against the Rangers. And we say that a lot, right? We draw attention to the fact that he's had incredible numbers against the Rangers over the years. But it's worth noting he has the most home runs in baseball, 41 of them. So he's hitting them against other people too. And he strikes out here, one away in the second inning.
Well, he's been killing the fastball. The Rangers have had some success against him in this series when they've thrown off speed pitches. But Jeffrey just throws a couple of fastballs right down the middle of the plate. He had a nice swing at both of them, fouled one off and missed that one to strike out. And he has been struggling really, though, for the last week or 10 days, maybe a little bit longer than that. But with that out, he's on pace to be one of the most consistent hitters in the history of baseball. And I'm not talking about 40 home runs 3 years in a row. The last 2 years he's hit 247. And with that out, he's hitting 247 right now.
Did that take him to 247?
Well, he's hitting 248 coming into the game. So he's got an outside chance to hit 247 3 years in a row. And then he's also the 22nd player in history that's ever had 3 straight years of 40 home runs or more and 100 RBIs or more. So you probably would point to those numbers as being consistent numbers that he's very proud of.
Olson in a hole 1 and 2. Actually, no, if he hits 247 this year, that'll be 4 straight years.
It's 4? I only saw 3.
Yeah.
Will this be the 4th?
Yeah, so in Milwaukee, his final year in Milwaukee, hit 247 in the last 2 years.
I didn't even
here,
go back to Milwaukee. That's even better. I didn't even look at Milwaukee.
But you know, before that, in 2014, that's where
What,
that's
246?
He was 244. So he was way off. 244.
Wow. If there's ever a player for fantasy purposes or any other purpose that you want to predict what his batting average is going to be, you feel pretty comfortable with this guy.
Well, Springs looking good again today in this opener concept. 2 strikeouts already. Trying for a 3rd here against Olson, but Olson pops this one up in a short center field. Hanging up there a little bit. Shields coming away in, and there are 2 gone. So that's 5 up, 5 down so far for Jeffrey Springs. And Ariel Dorado, the primary pitcher, he'll be ready to go probably in the 3rd. That would be the plan. So beginning his warm-up process. Now here's Marcus Semien for Oakland. Take a little bit low. Springs with those 2 strikeouts, by the way, it's one of those things in his career, in the minor leagues anyway, he was getting better than 32% of his outs via the strikeout. It's a big part of his game. Lefty's 1-0 in there. It's 1-1. Into left field, base hit. Semien, the first runner of the game, and Calhoun got a little locked up out there, lost his footing. Semien will head to 3rd, and he is in there safely. I'm not sure what happened with Calhoun. He went to pick the baseball up and maybe got his feet twisted up a little bit.
The outfield is a little slick, not because it's rain, just because they have played football out there and it's packed down a little bit. And as Willie went over to backhand this ball and try to hold Semien to a single, his feet just went out from underneath him and down he went. Just slid on the grass. It is something to watch for tomorrow night, whether the football players are slipping it all out there.
So Semien at 3rd base. And Franklin Barreto swings at the next pitch. High fly ball out to left center field. Delino with time to get underneath it. The inning is done. So we've played 2. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. When we come back, top of the order to Shields, Chu, and Rougned Odor coming. And Fox Sports Southwest invite you to slide into a suite. All you have to do, tweet where you want to get away, tag Fox Sports Southwest, and use the hashtag sweepstakes. And there you are. You have a chance to win a VIP Texas Rangers suite experience and 40,000 rapid reward points. Simple to do. So we hope you'll get involved. All right. Third inning, top of the order, and Cahill dumps that one in for a strike to DeShields, the first strike he has seen today. Delano has scored the game's only run after walking on 4 pitches in the first. And that one just a little off the plate. So it's a day off today for Joey Gallo, a day off for Elvis Andrus. And that gave Jeff Bannister an opportunity to do something a little different with his lineup. But he pointed out he likes the Chu-Odor combination, the way that's been working. He likes Profar following Adrian Beltre in the order, so he wanted to kind of leave that where it was. They just felt like it was a good chance to maybe see Delano in that leadoff spot again, and how that may affect his game, and maybe what this lineup would look like with him up there. And so first go around in the first inning, it looked pretty good. Cahill's 2-2, and it's a full count. Delano's been on the DL this year 3 times, a couple times with hand injuries. He takes ball 4, so 2 walks this afternoon for DeShields. All right, time for a Chevy game break as we say hello to Dana Larson.
Now batting, 17, Shin Soo Choo.
All right, thanks, Dana. Man on, DeShields draws the throw. Remember, Delano took off on the first pitch that Chu saw in the first inning. And Cahill not interested in letting him do that again here without at least a courtesy toss over to first. And Fegley's only caught 5 base runners this year. Delano with a lean, again a throw over there. Now Fegley hasn't caught a whole lot either. I mean, he's catching guys that, I don't know, what about 38% of the base runners who have tried to run against him. That's not too bad.
No, that's pretty good.
Delano with 19 stolen bases and a decent lead. Not going though. That's up and out. Chu fell behind 0-2 in the first inning, but then worked himself a walk. First 3 Rangers all walked today, but they only got 1 run out of that first inning. Delano going, pitches outside, throw down to second base is dropped. I don't think it would have been in time anyway. And DeShields with his 20th stolen base of the year, second of the game.
Nice lead, nice jump. And pretty much talked about Delano in his first at bat, getting on base and stealing, what that means to a ball club, to having that type of a dynamic player leading off at the top of the order. And this game seen a good example of that twice in 3 innings.
Two-0 pitch. Chu takes low, 3-0. Five walks already today for Rangers hitters. Cahill had walked 34 in 100 innings.
Yeah, that's not a number that would indicate this kind of a problem.
There's a strike, 3-1. Chu taken all the way. Cahill originally drafted by the Oakland A's, a second-round pick. Very smart guy. He was going to go to Dartmouth out of Vista Hill High School in San Diego, but instead drafted second round. He signed. And he'll offer low, and that's the 6th walk he has issued today.
We'll see what he does with Odor. He walked to Shields and Chu to lead off the first inning. Walked him here to lead off the 3rd inning. Carbon copy of the 1st inning so far. A walk, stolen base, and a walk.
Odor.
He settled down a little bit in the 2nd inning, although he did walk Willie Calhoun. And again, you may see activity in that bullpen. You'll look there at Scott Emerson, A's pitching coach, on the phone down to the bullpen. Cahill with a long look in. And there's a strike. So the A's, they have that shift on the infield with the 3 infielders on the right side. Not uncommon. But then you look at the left side where Chapman is positioned, and it's close to a normal third base spot. Really pretty conventional. A lot of times you compensate on that left side, move that guy over to play somewhere between third and short. But with DeShields and his speed at second base, Chapman has to stay a little closer to third. At least I would think that would be part of it. Cahill has managed to really quiet this Coliseum crowd. And that one up the middle, that's a base hit. DeShields trying to score. Here comes the throw from Laureano, and it's cut off. And Odor brings home another run. It's 2-0 Rangers.
Much doubt about that hit. That was scalded back through the middle by Ruge, like an off-speed pitch that hung up and out over the plate. Right in his wheelhouse. Looked like a high changeup right through Cahill's legs. It was actually pretty good position to field that ball. He just didn't have time to get down as hard as it was hit. Laureano has a nice arm in center field, but the Rangers had Delino running from second, so Laureano didn't have much of a chance, but his strong throw hit the cutoff man, so no damage done giving it a shot. Olsen was able to cut it off, though. Keep the runners at first and second.
Now Mazzara, and he'll take on the inside corner for a strike. I was kind of gearing up for a real good matchup there. The great arm and good position to make a throw. A great base runner with fantastic speed. We'll see what kind of play we might get at the plate. Certainly just as happy that there was no play at the plate. Another strike, 0-2 on Mazzara. May have moved that parking lot inside the ballpark. 2-strike offering and a little bloop out to center. Laureano closing on it. He makes a play. 1 out here in the 3rd inning. That sound like a car horn to you? A minute ago, that
it sounded like could have been an old-time car horn, maybe, but it didn't hit me that they'd moved the parking lot in here until you said that.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm looking around. I haven't seen any of the cars yet, but I'm sure they're here somewhere.
I'm guessing it's somebody out there that has some instrument that was making that car horn noise. It definitely wasn't a vuvuzela. Here's Beltre. Chu and Odor out there.
Are you big on using your horn when you're driving, by the way?
No, not really. I'm trying to think if I use the horn very often. Not really.
I don't either.
If I do,
Too many opportunities for road rage.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless you have to.
Usually kind of a gentle nudge with the horn, maybe, right? If somebody's just
Quick, like
texting.
real quick ones.
Yeah, a little.
When you're texting in light, you don't just push down on it and just go.
No.
You don't do that?
No.
That could have been the culprit right there.
Now, do you think you're more predisposed as a child like that if you're always playing with the vuvuzela to grow up and want to lay on the horn a little bit when you end up driving?
No, I think it has to do with the way you were brought up, what you've seen, your environment.
Beltre shoots one to the right side. That's a base hit. 2 around third. He'll head to the plate. Heading to third Odor, and he will be thrown out. Not real close over there at third base. 2 scores on the Beltre single. 3-0 Rangers, but another out on the bases for the Rangers.
Yeah, there really wasn't a good opportunity to get to third base on that ball. Piscotty has a nice arm, and that was kind of easy pickings for him. But Adrian gets a high pitch out over the plate, drives it into right field. And you'll see Piscotty come up firing. And Rugi not even close enough to third base to slide, really.
Also a single and an RBI for Beltre, but the put out goes right field to third base. And Bob Melvin has decided to make a pitching change. So that is it for Cahill. New pitcher coming on. Away here in the third inning. Sean Kelly has come in out of the bullpen for Oakland, and he will face Jurickson Profar. His first pitch a little bit low for ball 1. So Kelly making his 47th appearance this year.
Kelly pitched yesterday, pitched an inning, 3 up, 3 down, and 2 strikeouts.
1-1 now to count on Profar. That was a weird day for Trevor Cahill. And a short one necessitating Kelly on here in the third inning. Yesterday, Kelly came on early for Edwin Jackson, pitched in the 4th inning in that one. And this one ripped down to first and caught by Olson. Right place, right time, and an easy play for Olson, although he had some pretty quick reactions, but the inning is done. light blonde, it's light, done right. All right, how about this now? We go to the bottom of the third inning, and Jeffrey Springs stays in the game. So the opener,
I like that.
Stretching out a little bit. I do too.
As long as he's pitching well.
And his first pitch to Josh Fagley misses for a ball.
You know, thrown 24 pitches. 25 now.
8 and 9 hitters coming up, so sure. I'm on board. Foul tip. Makes the count 1-1. You know, it's been fun talking to Jeff Bannister about all this because, you know, he's open about the fact. He's like, well, I don't know. None of us have really done this. We're looking at it. We're experimenting with it. And he's indicated, you know, look, maybe there are times where a guy is going well enough. You say, well, I'll get another inning out of him. And at the same time, maybe there's a time where you just take a guy out an inning earlier than maybe people think would be necessary because you're already at a spot in the game where you get the back end of your bullpen set up. It's like we just have to wait and see. So the way Springs is throwing, I think what he's saying is he's throwing well enough. I'm going to keep riding him. And Springs has done some starting in his upbringing, if you will.
Well, the last changeup was a really nice pitch. Ed Fegley swung at that before it was halfway to home plate.
There's a high pop up out into center field. Shields slowly coming in. One away. Well, we call it Fandemonium. How about this? Rangers fans get $1 tickets, $1 parking, and $1 hot dogs for the 105 day game on Wednesday, September 19th. All courtesy of 105.3 The Fan. Rangers and Rays, it's the last dollar hot dog day of the season. Just use coupon code 1 at texasrangers.com/specials and be a part of the Fandemonium. Nick Martini slices one down the left field line. Oh, no.
Don't take your eye off the ball.
Thank goodness he had the helmet on. Man.
Radioing down for some help after that one. Why do you wear a helmet way down there? Because of that. Man. Wow. I hope that hit the helmet. It looked like it might have hit the side of his face. Wow.
Walking around now. Oh, thank goodness. This one bounced down the first baseline foul. 0-2 on Martini. That has been one of the. Yeah, he's got a replacement. A new security man down there. Wow. Well, balls, 2 strikes on Nick Martini. Takes high. Martini, originally a 7th round pick by St. Louis back in 2011. First we have seen of him in the series, just called up today. Drafted out of Kansas State, where he set the NCAA record. He was the player of the year in 2010 with the Wildcats. He reached base in 93 consecutive games for Kansas State. He's always been that kind of a guy, an on-base guy. Today getting a start in left field for Oakland.
He's done a nice job for the A's, talking about on-base percentage. The last 21 starts that he's had, his on-base percentage is almost 40%.
Whoa, and he's on base here. That one hit him. And he started that walk toward first. Felt like maybe he was all right. And then the pain hit. And the message was delivered to the nervous system all the way to the brain like, wow, that really hurt.
Yeah, it was a pitch that was definitely inside. It looked like a pitch that he might be able to get out of the way from. But sometimes you're looking for a slider maybe away from a left-hander, looking for something out over the plate, and you just don't react that well. So that pitch hit him because he started his swing and never really got out of the way. Bring your hands in and duck back a little bit, you would have missed it.
That hit him on the inside of the elbow, it looked like maybe. You almost see the hand curled up a little bit like that. You get that funny bone or nerve in there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how it took just a second for that to register, but that hurt. He's all right. It's down to first base. I say all right. He stays in the game. Like, I'm afraid if somebody told me, like, you're all right after something like that, I might just disagree with you on that. I'm not all right. That hurt. Now Laureano, who is 0 for 1.
Some of the better applause today has been reserved for the youngster that's doing the public address announcing. Have you heard him?
Yeah,
pretty good.
Catching a little of it, yeah. Now, Laureano, this is just the 4th game where the A's have used him in the leadoff spot. And it might be something that fits him pretty well, getting on at a 378 clip so far this year in a big league uniform. Yesterday reached once in 5 tries. Hit 2 home runs, including a leadoff home run in the opener on Friday. And a snap throw down to first. Teeny back in there easily.
Yeah, Laureano's walked 10 times in 19 games. So in addition to hitting well, he's also been showing a good eye at the plate.
One out here. 2-1. This is a little low. 3-1 to Laureano. Pretty cool after that that leadoff home run he hit on Friday night, first of his career. As he was headed into the dugout, getting high fives from his teammates and whatnot. Ricky Henderson was here and gave him a little fist bump right as he was heading to the dugout. The guy who hit more leadoff home runs than anybody in history. Ricky Henderson had 81 in his Hall of Fame career. In the check-in of Martini. We're at Ricky Henderson Field here at the Coliseum. So Springs sets his 3-1 pitch, and Laureano pops this one up. A lot of foul territory. And Guzman puts it away. 2 gone.
Now batting, number 26, Matt Chapman.
That's great.
That is really cool.
He's definitely thought about this day before he got here. He's been practicing that.
So now Chapman, as you just heard, and he takes strike 1.
Dick Callahan is the public address announcer here. A great character in his own right.
Yeah.
We've had the opportunity to share some conversation with him after the game occasionally. He is a character of the game. Good changeup today for Jeffrey. Got the pop-up. Laureano to first base in foul territory was a changeup. That last pitch to Chapman was a changeup. It's the same old story. If you throw a really good changeup like that, your 92-mile-an-hour fastball appears to be much faster to the hitter when you finally see one.
Springs working in his 3rd inning. Pitch on the way. That one fouled back by Chapman. I mentioned that Springs had done some starting in his minor league career. Last year made 17 starts down east for the Wood Ducks, and in 2016 made 9 starts at High Desert. He's done a little bit of both, relieving and starting in the minor leagues. He was a starter in college at Appalachian State. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chapman. Left-hander. Readies again. And this one popped up out near shortstop. Profar wants it, but it's Odor who calls for it and takes it maybe with a little better angle with the sun. And so the inning is done, and Springs puts up 3 zeros. We go to the 4th inning. Rangers lead 3-0. And now we'll go to the 4th. Bottom of the order for the Rangers: Guzman, Calhoun, and Kiner Falefa. Rangers 3 runs on just 2 hits. Kelly, who got the final out of the 3rd inning, comes out here again in the 4th. 1-1 the count on Ronald Guzman. Ronald flat out to center field. Good rookie campaign for Guzman. A hole 1 and 2. 14 home runs this year for the Condor. Pulls that one foul. Guzman's career high in home runs in the minor leagues. He had 16 in 2016 between Frisco and Round Rock. 15 of the home runs coming at Double-A Frisco, and then he hit the 1 home run in Round Rock. And that was always sort of the, I guess, the scouting report on Guzman. Really good defensively at first base. Felt like he would hit maybe for some average, get on base, could drive the ball a little bit, maybe gap to gap, but never really projected, despite his size, to be a guy who would hit a ton of home runs. Now, does that change now, Tom?
See, I don't know that you can make that projection. I think what you can say, Dave, for a young player is he's got the body and the strength to hit home runs. He's not doing it right now, but then that's where scouting comes into play. You watch his swing, you watch him take batting practice, you realize how young he is, and you'd have to make a projection. And I think it's tough to look at Ronald and project that he's not going to hit for power because of where he's hit some balls, the body that he has, the swing that he has. To me, it's just a matter of, as time goes by, will he learn the pitchers? Will he learn how to look for a pitch and hit it? I don't think it's a matter of strength. He's certainly big enough. And the fact that he's hit 14 home runs this year in his first season in the big leagues, you know, to me, I don't know that you can ever make a statement about a player like that he's not going to show power. You may say he really hasn't shown that kind of home run power yet. But if you project him down the road, I don't see why you wouldn't look at him and say, I can't see any reason why he can't hit 25 home runs.
mean, I think especially when you look at the number of games he has played this year, a number of at-bats. This one lifted high in the air out to right field by Calhoun, hanging up a little bit. Scotty is there, 2 away. Well, the Seven Kingdoms, as we like to say, can all agree that Globe Life Park is the best venue to enjoy a baseball game. You don't want to miss the second annual Game of Thrones theme night, September 17th through the 19th. So it's theme nights. You can purchase tickets through the theme nights offer and receive a limited edition Odor bobblehead. Fans also be able to take their picture on the Iron Throne. Get your theme night tickets exclusively at texasrangers.com/theme nights.
You know, when you're talking about the power, I think you can look at Nomar and almost say the same thing. Nomar's hit 20 home runs this year. He hit 20 home runs the last couple of years. So does that mean that he's a guy that's not going to show 30 to 40 home run power as time goes on? I don't think there's any way that you can say that, because all you have to do is look at the 20 home runs and see where some of them have gone. One of them went almost 500 feet in our ballpark. Now, if you're hitting little bloopers down the left and right field line that are going 330 feet and your best shot to center field is caught at the warning track, then you might be able to project a guy who's going to have trouble hitting a lot of home runs down the road. So I don't think you can project that a guy like Nomar is going to hit 40 home runs someday. Who knows? But you sure can't rule it out based on the swing that he has, where he's hit some balls, and the fact that at a very young age he's hit 20 home runs 3 straight years. Some guys do it right off the bat. Some guys hit 35 or 40 home runs right off the bat, but some it takes a while. And with both those guys, I'm certainly not willing to say they're not going to be home run hitters down the road.
Well, it's a quiet top of the 4th for the Rangers. They still lead 3-0.
Three very nice innings by Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey had a good, solid, effective fastball at 92 miles an hour, threw a lot of really good changeups, some breaking balls, mixed them up really well. And when it's all over and done with, he went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 2. That's our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. Nice job by Jeffrey today. Sometimes as the opener, Dave, I guess you look for 1, hope for 2, but you don't generally get 3, I don't think. So that was a very nice job. And I like the fact that Banny didn't just limit him to a certain amount of innings. He gave him a chance, if he's pitching well, to go back out there and get 3 innings.
So that means our who's in, who's out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger, has this man, Ariel Jurado, in for Springs, who is out. And Jurado gets the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in this 4th inning.
Let's take a look at our Shiner light blonde pitch arsenal for Ariel Jurado. A lot of 2-seam fastballs. That's a sinker. That's a lot of them. 2/3 of them. A couple of 4-seam fastballs, and then mix in a slider, breaking ball, changeup. But for the most part, when he's pitching well, he's a little bit like Bartolo Colon in that manner. as far as he likes to throw his sinker. He likes to get ground balls. He likes to make you hit the ball early in the count. And he depends on good command of his pitches.
Gets one in there to Stephen Piscotty. 3-1 the count. Piscotty struck out in the first inning. He fouls that one away. It's a full count. Jurado doesn't mess around. I mean, he gets the baseball, he's ready to go. And, you know, looking at the pitch arsenal, he has a pretty good idea what he wants to do. He wants to throw that sinker. He wants to get ground balls.
Yeah, for the most part, he doesn't even need to look for the sign. He knows what it's going to be.
3-2. And he misses outside. So a walk to Piscotty begins the bottom of the fourth inning. All right, so let's take a moment and check in with our friends over at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Okay, lead man on in this fourth inning for Oakland, and the dangerous Chris Davis now to the plate. First pitch on the way, and he takes strike one.
Davis is ready to tee off on a fastball, but Ariel didn't give him a fastball.
You see those incredible season numbers at the bottom of the screen there on Chris Davis. A fantastic year for him. He hits his ball sharply up the middle, but a friendly bounce results in an out at second to throw to first. Not in time.
Boy, that would have been one unorthodox looking double play. Jurickson had a hard time getting the ball out of his glove to flip it to Rugnet. Actually flipped him a changeup. It looked like Ruggie was just going to catch the ball and be content with one out at second base. He made sure he touched the base, fired it to first. They almost turned two. That would have been a double play.
So, force out at second. I'll take that. Davis at first. That's the other part. You keep him in the ballpark. And now Matt Olson. He'll take low and inside for a ball. So scoring on that 1-6-4 was the ball kicked off of Jurado's left foot. Got to give a guy an assist for that. 2-0. I wasn't real sure when I saw it live. I couldn't tell if it skipped off the mound.
Yeah, I didn't know it hit him either.
A bit of a break there, and now if he get another ground ball, maybe a chance to get out of this inning. 2-1 the count. Olson flied out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. The A's with just one hit so far. And this is an A's team that offensively they can hurt you in a lot of different ways. And they have the first couple of games of this series. Yesterday scored 8 runs on 9 hits. We mentioned in the open of the broadcast today the two teams combined for 10 home runs in the first 2 games. Bouncer first base, and that somehow gets past Guzman. Hits sharply, rolls out into deep right field. Davis will stop at third on the double by Matt Olson. And that was an eyelash away from becoming a very likely double play. Instead, it's a double, and they have 2 in scoring position.
Now, Olson obviously hit the ball extremely hard. It just barely got by Ronald at first base. Looked like he got his glove down, and the ball just went right by it. But when you're playing in like that, even with a bag, that kind of a rope, just not that easy to react and get your glove on it. You don't have much time to think about it and accomplish it.
So the A's knocking on the door here. Simeon swings and misses at strike one. Simeon, prior to that double by Olson, had the only hit so far today for Oakland. Single in the second inning. Went out to left field. Calhoun, his feet just fell right out from underneath him. It ended up being a 2-base error on top of the single, but the A's were unable to do anything with it. And really, for the first time today, this Coliseum crowd into the proceedings a little bit. It's a slow start for the home club. Chopped around in front of the plate. That's a foul ball, though. 1-2. Ariel Jurado, the young right-hander. Ground ball, third base. Beltre throws out Simeon. 2 gone. Davis had to hold third base, so that's a big ground ball out right there. So now Franklin Barreto, who is 0 for 1. Barreto, a guy who came up as a shortstop last couple of years, has played a lot more second base. They feel that that is a position of his future. He's had very high hopes for Franklin Barreto. He's 22 years old. That was inside, ball 1. But 2 outs in the inning. And they have the rookie up there in a very big spot in this one so far. Barreto, one of 4 players acquired from Toronto in the Josh Donaldson deal after the 2014 season. And he shoots this one into right field. That's a base hit. 1 run is in. Barreto brings in the first run of the game for Oakland with that single to right field. Well, it's just the A's, a lot of the players anyway, thinking very aggressively. They get just the 1 run out of it.
Yeah, that's the good news. Bad news is it's an RBI hit. The good news is he hit it so hard, right straight at Mazzara, that the runner at second, Matt Olson, wasn't able to score on the play. And you know, with 2 outs, third base coach is going to be aggressive, but he had no chance to wave him home on that one. Ball got to Nomar. Nomar caught it not that deeply out in right field. He's got a good, strong, accurate arm. Well, if you get Fegley right here, keep it to 1 run, that'll be all right.
Olson was definitely anticipating being waved from second base. Matt Williams was emphatic with a stop sign. And Matt Williams, one of those guys, I think anyway, that as a base runner, I wouldn't want to get on, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of that equation, right? If he tells me to stop, I'm stopping.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the best policy. Right? You can keep going and say, geez, I never saw that sign, but generally speaking, when he tells you to stop, it's a good idea to stop. Well, Third base coach usually knows what he's doing.
And Matt Joyce here, pinch hitting for Fegley. Expanded rosters, and the A's not wasting any time putting some of the extras in the game as they need them. Only in the bottom of the 4th. See the numbers for Joyce this year. Olson at third, Barreto at first. And this one in the air, left field. Long run out there, and Calhoun can't quite get to it. Barreto all the way back to first base. Ready at that left side, and the pitch inside. 2-1. So Jurado taking over for Jeffrey Springs. A walk. Fielder's choice, a double, a ground ball, and then an RBI single by Barreto. That just misses 3-1. Toronto already a very busy first inning of work in this one today. Joyce used almost exclusively against right-handed pitchers. Oh, he takes a close one there, and that loads him up with that walk.
Let's see where it was. Looked like it was pretty close. Yeah, it was one of those that could have been right at the bottom of the strike zone. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Good sinking action, made it sink down to that location. Joyce always has had a pretty good eye at the plate. He's only played 65 games with 192 at-bats. And he's hitting .203, but his on-base percentage is .314 because he's walked 31 times, 32 times now.
So Bill Cale out there to have a conversation. Not buying time for anybody. The bullpen's quiet at the moment. And now Nick Martini. Yeah, it's a crowded bullpen. The idea, though, is Arano would give the Rangers 4, maybe 5 innings. He's got to get through this 4th inning first.
Martini's had 4 different stints with Oakland this year. Barreto has had 6. Been up and down 6 times.
In your years as a general manager, do you ever remember having anybody go up and down?
Not 6 times.
Like these guys do today?
Not 6 times, but you have to have a couple of guys who have options left that you can do that with. Otherwise, you have to continually manipulate your 40-man roster, add guys to the roster. Sometimes if you're full, take somebody off. So if you have several guys on your 40-man roster who have options left, those are usually the guys that go up and down. Not always the most deserving. Sometimes it's the one that you can do it with because of the roster.
And gets away. And the run will score. Olsen in from 3rd. Everybody else advances a base. And a frustrating 4th inning so far for Ariel Arado.
But it started out that way when Piscotty got the leadoff walk. Looked like he might have a pretty good chance to get out of it when Semien grounded out to 3rd. But then a base hit and a walk. That ball just had so much movement. It just kept going away and away. Isaiah thought he was going to have a chance to catch that, and it just kept sinking and tailing away from him.
Two runs in. I still haven't heard a scoring decision on that one. There's a strike called. 2-1 to Martini. First base open. You don't want to put Martini there. Martini slices that one out of play. 2-2 the count. Arado has surrendered 2 runs here in the 4th. Wild pitch, counting for the 2nd run. Barreto and Joyce out there, 3rd and 2nd base respectively. That's a call. All right, 2-2. Inside and a full count.
It's been a tough inning. 28 pitches, 15 balls, 13 strikes.
Trying to get into that territory where you really don't like to take a pitcher. Hard ground ball, second base. O'Gore has trouble with it. Recovers, throws it away. Fortunately, it hit the base runner Martini, but 2 runs score. and Oakland has taken the lead.
I think it hit the umpire. Looked like that throw was going to go into the dugout. The umpire was looking at first base to call the play. It looked like the ball hit him right in the back. Tough play, a hard smash. Ruge controls it, throws to first. Boink. Sure did. That's one you're not expecting. The umpire right in the back and rolled away. You could see Guzman's getting ready to go chase it. He knew it was a wild throw. Ruge kind of a desperation heave to get the out at first. A little bit offline. And it just didn't go the Rangers' way.
Jeff Bannister out there to talk about that play with Jerry Meals and hopes that, I'm guessing that maybe he can get the runner placed back at third base. Not going to happen. So it's a base hit and then an E4 that allows the second run to score. One RBI for Martini. Mariano now the hitter.
Well hit ball by Martini. Really almost made a great play. If that ball stuck in his glove, it would have been a super play.
It just misses. Mariano 0 for 2s, flied out to center field, popped up and foul ground to first. A 4-run inning for Oakland. So 31 pitches in the inning now for Hirado. We're talking about getting to that point in an inning where, as a manager, guys are usually not tempted to push pitchers, let's say, past 40 pitches in an inning. And these have been a lot of stressful pitches, too, for Hirado. Martini at first. He's off the plate, 3-0. There is activity in that Rangers bullpen. C.D. Pelham. Not be long before we see him. There is a strike called on Laureano. 3-1. Fly ball center field. The Shields on his horse back near the wall, and that one is high off the fence. Martini wave. He scores. RBI double for Laureano. It's 5-3 Oakland.
Yeah, the only reason that wasn't a home run is it hit a little bit to the right of the sign on the second level of the fence. Right at the 388 sign. It's a little bit to the left. It goes over the sign and hits the 3 of the 388 sign. Played nicely off the wall by Delano to Shields, but no chance to do anything but hold him to a double.
All right, so that is it. Manning can't let him work anymore. C.D. Pelham coming on. Casey's Buffet for new endless pan pizzas, available in Meat Eater and Supreme. Well, this one has not gone as planned. Morado could not get through one inning as the primary. And so now C.D. Pelham, and he delivers low to Matt Chapman. The ace will now bat it around. Pelham, it's his third big league game. He inherits Laureano out there at second base. Won the count.
Pelham pitched in the opener of this series. Pitched an inning, struck out a batter in a nice quick inning. Threw the ball really well, 96, 98 miles an hour.
Hard throwing left-hander and put up some impressive numbers in the minor league system. Had his contract purchased from AA Frisco on Tuesday. 2-0 with a 3.66 ERA in 47 games combined with Down East and AA Frisco. 3-1 the count. Was 13 for 13 in save opportunities as well. So pitched in the high pressure spots in the minor leagues, which you would hope would prepare a guy a little bit, right, for some of the pressures of pitching in a major league game at whatever spot of the game that may be. Here he comes in inheriting a base runner with 2 out in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. That one gets away from Kiner Falefa. And Laureano runs over to third base. I don't know if they just don't make the announcements on wild pitches and pass balls, or
I didn't see it on the monitor. It looked, watching it, like it was a pass ball.
a pass ball.
And he just kind of kicked past his glove.
Meanwhile, the count goes full on Chapman. Chapman today 0 for 2. He's flat out to left field, popped up to second base. Pelham came in the game Friday, retired all 3 batters he faced in that game. Got his first major league strikeout. Struck out Matt Olson in that one. His debut on Wednesday against the Angels did not go quite as well. A foul tip. Pelham originally a 33rd round pick back in the 2015 draft. Went to Spartanburg Methodist College in South Carolina. Payoff on the way, and that one's up and out. Walk Chapman, so they're on the corner. Well, it's a 2-run Oakland lead, and they have more base runners now for Stephen Piscotty. And regardless how this one ends up today, whether the Rangers win or the A's win, I don't think anybody would enter this thing in any kind of beauty pageant. It would not win. Up and out to Piscotty, who walked to start this 4th inning.
Yeah, the amazing thing is Trevor Cahill walked 6 guys in 2 2/3. Only gave up 3 runs.
Which indicates a lot of ugly on both sides of that equation. Ugly with the 6 walks, then ugly in ways offensively in which the Rangers didn't take advantage. 1-1. The count to Piscotty. It's been a journey in 2018 for Piscotty. And one of those years you will never forget. And not always for the best reasons. The Cardinals traded him to Oakland last year in part to get him closer to his home here in the East Bay, where his mom had been diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And he attended to her health with the help of family for quite some time. And earlier this season, she lost her battle with Lou Gehrig's disease, passed away in May. Piscotty had to miss a couple of days. He was very close to his mom and to the rest of his family. And it was a really emotional, tough time for him. And he admitted it. It had been a struggle for him professionally, trying to play while his mom and his family were struggling so much. Since her passing, the game, I think, has just come a lot easier for him. And maybe he's just giving him some clarity, peace of mind, and the numbers really have turned around for him. It's still a tough season of loss for the guy, but he at least has returned to the form that I think we all originally knew when he was with St. Louis. He's become once again a very good hitter, hitting right in the heart of this order. A very good A's offense.
In 2016, he had almost the same year he's having this year. 22 home runs, knocked in 85 runs.
He strikes out here to end the 5th inning, but a 5-run, about a 4th inning for Oakland. It just felt like a couple extra. We go to the 5th now, 5-3. Bay. 5-3 Oakland with the lead. Our forward look ahead. Tomorrow we'll begin a 3-game series in Los Angeles. And first pitch tomorrow will be 9 o'clock Central Time. Our pregame beginning at 8:30. Last 10 games, Shohei Ohtani really kind of got things started in that series back in Arlington. But 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, and OPS over 1,600 in the last 10 games for Shohei Ohtani. 5th inning now. And off we go. Top of the order for the Rangers. Jonathan Lucroy has come in to catch. Fagley was lifted for a pinch hitter. Emilio Pagan, the new chucker.
Yeah, overall his numbers are pretty good. 48 games, nice ERA, a lot of strikeouts, not many walks, good opponent's batting average, but they were a lot better than that a little while ago. Because in his last 6 appearances, 5 2/3 innings, he's given up 8 hits and 8 earned runs. He's also in 55 innings given up 11 home runs. It's the most the 5th most home runs in the majors by a reliever. So overall, good numbers. Recently, a little bit of a hiccup for him. Knocked the numbers down a little bit, but overall, nice season for the ace.
Now he comes in for Sean Kelly, who retired all 4 hitters he faced. Shields sends that one into the seats. It's 2-2. Delino has walked 2 times. He has stolen 2 bases, and he has scored 2 runs. So he's done a real nice job out of that leadoff spot today. His previous at-bats, though, were against Trevor Cahill, who has long been removed from this game. Pagan's 2-2, and that's a little bit in. Shields was activated off the disabled list last Saturday, so a little over a week ago now. Hasn't played a ton since then. Was 2 for 7 since coming off the DL. This time it was a fracture of the tip of that right middle finger. He was trying to bunt against the Angels, and the ball smashed that top portion of his middle finger. He strikes out here, 1 away in the 5th. Okay, as Chu heads to the plate, we'll take a moment to hear from our friends over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
So Pagan gets a strikeout, and now Chu. This one pulled foul for a strike. Chu batting out of the 2nd spot in the order this afternoon, and that's a slightly new look for him, at least recently. He had really settled into that leadoff position. Jeff Bannister trying to get a different look today. A couple of his regulars sitting. For Chu, hasn't really affected his ability to get on base. He's got on both times again today. He has scored a run as well. So the very top of the order is done nicely so far today for the Rangers. 1-2.
Our StatCast AI, powered by AWS, shows us the spray chart for Shin-Soo Choo. Pretty much about as straight away as you can get. A little bit more in the brown, which would favor right field, but for the most part, he goes the other way quite a bit too.
Comes up empty here. Pagan gets his 2nd strikeout.
I mentioned that Pagan in his last 5 2/3 had given up 8 hits and 8 runs. Really been struggling, but not so far. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts. A good cut fastball, good slider. Curveball maybe.
So with 2 away, big shift on the infield. Here is Odor. Walked and singled. And did he hold up? He did. Ball 1. He blasted a single up the middle in the 3rd inning to drive in a run. And you see the shift for the A's as they certainly anticipate Hoogie to pull the ball. And it's this one in the air out to right field. A lot of sunshine to contend with, but Piscotty is there and the inning is done. The Rangers go in order. Halfway to the house this afternoon. A's lead 5-3. Now there's a lot of stuff.
How's that stay afloat?
That is a great question.
It looks like if a big wave come, it would just tip right over.
That is, I mean, that thing weighs way more than 100 pounds.
They put too much stuff on that thing.
It's a well-hit ball out into right field. And a base hit up against the fence. Now it goes over the fence. And that will be a ground rule double for Chris Davis to start this 5th inning.
He can hit the ball hard. And he hits it all over the place, too. A fastball that he just hits a line drive to right field. Just hits off the top of the wall. Karam's out of the ballpark. Line shot double.
'27th double of the year for Davis. Here's Olson. He doubled his last time up. 1 for 2 today. C.D. Pelham at the final out, the last inning. And again here in the 5th, and it's 1-1 on Olson. Olson was his first strikeout victim of his big league career the other day. Let's see if Pelham can get him again today. (5-3) Oakland. They got all 5 runs in the 4th inning. And it's 1-2.
Very comfortable with the swing on that hard slider.
Pelham really hard thrower. Does like to mix the breaking ball in as well. 1-2 pitch. There's a foul ball. And you could see how that might be a little challenging for left-handed hitters like Olson. In fact, when you look at Pelham's numbers against lefties in the minor leagues anyway, lefties hit just .206 against him this year. And with almost no power at all, only 1 home run, 250 plate appearances against left-handed hitters. This one lined out into left field, drops in for a base hit. So Oakland has him on the corners to start this 5th inning.
Nicely hit ball by Olson. Saw him smash the double past Ronald Guzman down the first baseline. That time he got a pitch that he could handle. That one stayed right in the middle of the plate. He just tried to put the ball in play and hit it sharply in the left field. Well hit single.
We'll see how Pelham gets himself out of trouble here. Simeon, the batter, and takes up and away. Simeon 1 for 2 today. And Marcus Simeon, a guy who plays every day for this club. And he has been a part of things here now for some 5 years, and he had to miss a couple of days earlier this year for the birth of his first child. So he stepped away from the team for, I think it's 3 days, the paternity leave. 12 homers this year, 55 RBIs for Simeon. Takes in the dirt 2-1. So it's been a special year for Marcus Simeon. We see some activity now. Not more getting ready in the Rangers pen. Fouled over the bullpen and out of play. Pelham's a big, strong kid, 6'6", 235 pounds. And Simeon just does fight him off. Pelham from Lancaster, South Carolina. And he has that beautiful, that syrupy, thick Southern accent to get from that part of the country. 2-2. And it's in the dirt. In my days in the minor leagues, I got to spend the summer in Charleston, South Carolina. And of course, in the South Atlantic League, you travel all over that region of the country, and it's awesome. I mean, it's like speaking a different language sometimes. It's beautiful, but there are times when you almost can't understand it. Some places, depending where you are. Now stays full on Simeon.
We were talking earlier about the starting pitcher for the A's, Trevor Cahill, and how much better he's pitched at home than he has on the road. He didn't pitch that well today. The A's at home this year, they're only hitting .236 at home. They've only hit 81 home runs, and they're scoring a little over 4 runs a game at home. It's on the road where they've done the damage.
Bouncer third base. Beltre with a backhand to second one. The relay. Not dug out at first. In and out of the glove of Guzman. Davis scores. Oakland now leads 6-3.
Perfect throw from Adrian. Ruby's throw is a little low. Generally, Ronald Guzman will pick that ball out of the dirt. He didn't get that one. And the fact that he didn't pick it gets him in an RBI.
Oh, and here comes the skipper. So Pelham may be done. Indeed, he is. Jeff Bannister signals to the bullpen. And so Pelham will leave. One man on, 1 run in, and Matt Moore coming on for the Rangers. Like that, 1-0. You don't get many of those in Major League Baseball these days. Offense such a big part of things as Matt Moore has come on to pitch here in the 5th inning. Left-hander now working out of the bullpen for the second half of the season. First pitch right in there for a strike to Franklin Barreto.
Finishing up on the A's at home, they've averaged a little over 4 runs. On the road, they're averaging 5.5 runs a game. 117 home runs on the road, 81 at home.
I read an article the other day about this Oakland offense and how they feel like there's a big difference in hitting in this ballpark versus hitting on the road, and that it's almost like they have 2 different approaches. Their road offensive approach, their home offensive approach. That seems like somebody reading a lot into the numbers, maybe. I can't imagine that a team would, let's just say, try and hit the ball on the ground at home, or trying to hit the ball in the air on the road. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, I wouldn't think so either. You might have a different approach in a ballpark like Fenway, maybe, but I wouldn't see it here.
Hard ground ball shortstop. Go for the second one. Odor turns it this time for the double play. And so Matt Moore comes in and restores a little order in this one. Inning done. A's add a run, though. And we will head to the 6th inning. 7-3 our score. And we invite Rangers fans to take their fandom to the next level. Own a piece of the game. That's pretty cool. Go to TexasRangers.com/authentics, and you can see I can get everything from game-used baseballs to bases and autographed memorabilia. See what's waiting for you now at TexasRangers.com/authentics. A 3-run game, and in this 6th inning, Rangers will send the heart of the order against Yusmeiro Petit.
Petit's another guy out in the A's bullpen who's had a nice season. A lot of innings, too. He's pitched 66 games, but he's thrown 85 innings. Hasn't started a game. He had a chance to throw 100 innings as a relief pitcher, which is something you used to see. I won't say frequently, but it wasn't a surprise to see it. A little bit of a surprise to see it in today's game. He doesn't throw a lot of pitches, doesn't walk many, 17 walks in 85 innings. Doesn't give up many hits either, 223 opponent's batting average.
Was it yesterday we saw him? Or it must have been the opener on Friday. And he went 2 scoreless. Yeah. He was like, he stood out like a sore thumb in that game.
He wasn't out there very long.
No. He went out there, I guess, just to get outs. And he got them quickly. That one is a little bit inside. 3-1 the count to Nomar Mazara. Mazara, Beltre, and Profar this inning against Petit, who was anything but. Petit, a very big guy. You get the occasional misnomer. And Petit's right there, maybe at the top of the list. You know, sometimes the names are just perfect. Look at guys like Roy Smalley. That seemed like That was the right name, Roy Smalley. But Yusmeiro Petit, he's huge.
Well, Roy Smalley wasn't exactly small, though.
He wasn't very big, though, was he?
Roy was probably about 6'2" or so. He wasn't a little Smalley guy. He was kind of a.
You think he was a biggie guy?
I wouldn't call him big, but if I had to call him big or small, I'd call him big. But I definitely wouldn't call Yusmeiro Petit.
Petit puts Mazzara on here in the 6th inning, and so this Rangers offense, as we know, they can score runs in a hurry. Ground ball to shortstop, back to second one, and Barreto turns it easily for the double play. Just like that, a promising beginning to the 6th inning, goes the opposite direction. Well, our TXU Energy power player to watch today, Jurickson Profar. How about his first 4 seasons? 12 home runs in 205 games. This year, a little better than half the number of games. 16 home runs. So the power numbers have really come along. Profar, 70 RBIs for the year as well. This ball lifted up to right field. Piscotti right there to make the play. So quiet. Top of the 6th inning. It's still 6-3. Bay. We look at our progressive upcoming schedule. After this afternoon, we'll head to LA. 3 night games against the Angels in the early part of the week, and then just shuffle a little further down the coast to San Diego for the weekend. As we get going here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Matt Moore looked really nice. Got a double play ground ball in the 5th inning against Franklin Barreto. Now facing Lucroy, first at bat of the ball game for Jonathan Lucroy. Won the count.
Okay, Roy Smalley.
Yeah.
6'1", 185. So would you call that a tweener?
I mean, maybe. I guess, you know what? It's sort of. I guess I think of it in context. You know, the people we see all the time in this business, right? And maybe it's just skewed by the guys we really see every day, like in our clubhouse, big dudes like Guzman and Gallo, etc. Roller to shortstop. Lucroy out to start the 6th inning.
He probably looked bigger when he played than he would if he was playing right now.
Yeah, we see him now as a broadcaster coming through town every now and then, and he's like a lot of folks who, after their athletic career, when their peak physical condition, they start to return to normal size, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe that should be his name, Roy Normal.
He he was really slim when he first played with us. Then after he went to the Twins and then the Yankees, started to hit a bunch of home runs. I think he probably bulked up a little bit, putting on a little bit of weight. Still in great shape, though.
With one out here, Nick Martini. I'm sorry, Chad Pinder. Again, the A's, look, these benches are deeper this time of year, and they're willing to burn players earlier in ball games. Pinder lines this one out over second, and it's a base hit. So Oakland has a man on here in the 6th inning.
Pretty good pitch, really. It's not even a strike. It's a low sinker. Pinder didn't hit it all that well. Hit it toward the end of the bat. Ended up with a base hit, though.
So now to the top of the order for Laureano. The rookie is 1 for 3 today. RBI double coming in the 4th. So Laureano, this is his 30th game for Oakland. So he's still a very young career. He has 5 outfield assists. We had a moment earlier in today's game where you thought, whoa, we might have a play at the plate. He came over the ball in center field, but they cut it off, and the Rangers scored the run. But 5 outfield assists in 29 games coming in, and he has the most outfield assists on this team. Bouncer first base. Guzman has it. Quick throw to second. Profar wanted to return, but nobody was there. Get the out at second. Pinder erased off the bases. A 3-6 put out. With Laureano on via the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Laureano runs pretty well. Really well. So he was going to be tough to double up anyway on a play like that. But Ronald gets the ball, gets rid of it quickly and accurately. Jurickson comes across the bag, but doesn't have anybody to throw to.
Matt Chapman, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. So they're getting excited around the Coliseum here about Monday Night Football tomorrow, which they will host with all these TV trucks and whatnot piled up around the ballpark. And then today, maybe in anticipation, maybe some folks just showed up early. They've got a nice little crowd here, 27,932. Biggest crowd in this series. Might be the biggest crowd we've seen this year here. They've had bigger crowds this season in Oakland. A good year for the A's.
Big crowd out at the food trucks today.
Yes, sir. Of course, the makeshift all-star wrestling rink that they had out there nearby.
I didn't even see it. I didn't even know that was going on. I was oblivious to that.
You're focused on that pulled pork sandwich.
Well, I was looking forward to the burrito, but when I saw the line, I had to make a different call.
Truly a game.
Moved to the left where there wasn't a line.
1-2, and Chapman swings and misses. Strike 3, and the inning is done. So Oakland leaves a man on. We're off to the 7th inning. It's 6-3. inning. Now, thanks to T-Mobile, fans can receive a 20% discount on Fridays for the all-you-can-eat seats in the home run porch. You can get your tickets in the all-you-can-eat seats for September 21st. It's the last Friday home game of the season. Mariners in town. Use the coupon code T-Mobile at TexasRangers.com/specials. All right, so 7th inning. Ronald Guzman will lead things off. Rangers down by 3. First pitch in there for a strike. There's a new left fielder. Pinder stays in the game, replacing Martini. And Buchter's pitch. This one lifted high in the air to center field. Laureano is back, fighting that sun. One away.
3rd straight day for Ryan Buchter, but the first 2 days were short stints. First game of the series, he came in the 7th inning and got Rugi to fly out to right field to end the 7th. And yesterday, he got Joey Gallo to end the 8th inning, struck him out after Beltre had hit a 2-run homer in the 8th inning. So he's pitching 3 days in a row, but he didn't throw a lot of pitches the first 2 outings. Came into this game because the Rangers had 2 lefties scheduled to hit, and they both will hit, Guzman and Calhoun.
So we got the Condor, and now Calhoun, who walked in the 2nd, flied out in the 4th.
Buchter has been a situational guy. This is his 46th game, and he's only pitched 32 innings. So he's not coming in for extended periods of time. He's coming in short stints, 1/3 of an inning, 2/3 of an inning to get a left-hand hitter or 2 out, but not to stay in the game.
Fastball on the corner, 2-1. So let's see. He is the 4th pitcher of the day. Cahill, their starter, pulled in the 3rd inning. Sean Kelly gave him an inning and a 1/3. Began 2 innings, and now Buchter. 3-1 the count. And I was just looking earlier today at their roster. They have 2 lefties listed in their bullpen. 15 righties.
If you're going to use your lefty, I guess you'd use him here with 2 left-hand hitters. You definitely want him to face lefties. So this is his spot for him.
Full count now on Calhoun. Fouled away. I just want to double check something here as I'm looking at these names. Yeah, so how about that, Tom? So in their bullpen, when I say 15 righties, 2 lefties, that's 17 literally now relievers. They also have 3 additional starters. So they're carrying 20 pitchers right now on the active roster. 20.
That should keep them from having to use a position player in a game in September.
That's intriguing. How do they have enough room for them?
That's going to be some crowded bullpens. I'd like to see him fit into old Tiger Stadium's bullpen. Or the Rangers' old bullpen. Good luck in that one, too.
3-2 to Calhoun. Little roller second base. Barretto's right there. And he throws out Calhoun for the 2nd out of the inning.
Our bullpen in the old Ranger Stadium on those 100-degree days would have been particularly bad if Duke Sims was the bullpen catcher, because Duke's favorite thing during a game was to throw up on purpose in the bullpen to see if he could make the guys in the bullpen have to go sit in the dugout. He was very, very good at that.
That is disgusting. We have a new pitcher coming on for Oakland. Here in the top of the 7th inning. And our Kubota power stats here. Lou Trevino has come on to pitch. You see the A's bullpen has thrown 33 fastballs this year at 100 or better. That's the 7th most in baseball. Their starters haven't thrown one. And that's not, I mean, a lot of starters don't throw 100 miles an hour.
It's rare that they do, really.
And Lou Trevino is a new hurler for Oakland, and that one right at 97 miles per hour, but misses for ball 1.
Trevino's put up a nice season. He's 8-2. A lot of decisions for a reliever. 69 innings, 76 strikeouts, and a 180 opponent's batting average. So a lot has been made about the acquisitions that the A's have made. Guys to bolster the late inning bullpen for the A's. Trevino's been here all year. He hasn't needed much support. He's gotten the job done all by himself out there.
Two outs, nobody on, and he is facing Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. It's 2-1. And Isaiah lines this one out to right field. It drops in, base hit. So the Rangers have a base runner in this 7th inning.
Yeah, Isaiah is a hitter that uses the whole field. Definitely goes up against a hard thrower like this without trying to pull the ball, just trying to make some solid contact. Young player doesn't seem to be overmatched by the velocity of the pitch.
Well, I think it plays well for him. It has shown to so far this year. DeShields now 0 for 1 with a couple of walks, a couple of runs scored, and he takes a strike. Delano wants a moment now. Rangers got a run in the first, 2 runs in the 3rd inning. They led 3-0 into the bottom of the 4th, but a 5-run 4th inning really changed this game. Trevino with that high set. And this one fouled over to the right side. 0-2 the count. Trevino, I read a story earlier this year. I was sometime prior to the All-Star break anyway, but he's one of these guys, when he came up, they asked him to lose a little weight, and he gained like 20 pounds eating donuts, and he started throwing harder.
Boy, that was the key to throwing harder. There'd be a lot of people eating donuts.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, well, that seems to work. Yeah, I ate my way right to a little more velocity. Donuts.
Who would have thought?
He's since made some changes. Little bouncer up the middle. That one rolls through. Base hit. Kiner-Falefa turns it, but you do not want to test Laureano's arm, and instead he'll hold. Kiner-Falefa at second. DeShields with a base hit, and he's had a real nice day out of that leadoff spot.
A chopper right straight up the middle, right between the infielders. And Isaiah did the right thing. 2 outs. You do not want to take any chances going to third base. You've had a couple outs on the bases today. If the Rangers don't come back in this game, they can look back to the 1st inning and have seen an opportunity, where they got 1 run after 3 straight walks and a 2-0 count on the 4th hitter as an opportunity to have a big inning. They weren't able to do that, though. Hopefully that won't be the reason they're not able to come back in the game.
So 2 now. Trevino, this is up and away. He would eat like 5 donuts after a workout, and Sometimes he said he'd go have ice cream or pumpkin pie. He said the thing was, he's like, I want to eat. I have a sweet tooth, and I like to eat these things, carbs and sugars. And so he said, I just use it as motivation. He's like, so that's the thing. If I want to keep eating this stuff, then I have to work out. And so he's like, it's what helps me.
That will not be a
out.
good long-range plan.
Probably not.
It may have, by total coincidence, worked for him on the short term. But my suggestion to him would be to maybe look at a different routine as time goes on. Otherwise, his career is not going to be as long and productive as he wants it to be. It just does not appear that that is a recipe for success. Now, maybe it works for him, in which case, who am I to deny the guy a dozen donuts here and there?
How many
I'd
donuts?
like to do that, too.
How many donuts can you eat before you really start feeling a little
Like what kind?
sluggish?
Glazed?
Yeah, let's go. Like
I could
glazed.
eat 6 easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I could eat that. I love sweets. I could eat sweets for breakfast, snacks, lunch, and dinner.
2 and 1.
But I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
But if you had 6 donuts, this is my thing, right? If I had 6
I'd
donuts,
feel terrible.
oh yeah, just awful. Like within half an hour.
I'd spend the rest of the day wondering why I did it,
Yeah.
being upset about it, saying I'll never do it again, thinking, should I try to make myself throw up? I would never go that far, but
2 to count. No, you leave
if it
that
was
to the
easy,
bullpen
if it
game.
was easy to do that, I would do it. Oh, after 6 donuts. I've never eaten 6 donuts.
Oh, really? Well, we got a lot of day left out here in California. Let's see.
I did try one time, though, on the plane. On a Ranger flight, we had German chocolate cake for dessert. Little squares of German chocolate cake. I have to wait for that.
Oh, man, he's going to make his way for the German chocolate cake. 2 strikes out. Rangers leave a pair. 7th inning stretch here. A's still lead by 3. Run up Lombard Street. Get your exercise doing the steps. The inclines there in San Francisco.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. Windiest road. Yeah. This was, took this video this morning when we were on our way to the ballpark. Coit Tower off in the distance. It is beautiful. It's a lovely city. It's the other side of the bay. 6-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And we're back to action. But more importantly, we're back to the German chocolate cake.
Oh, so we're on a flight where I think we were playing cards maybe, and the dinners came and we ate, and I was starving, and there was like a little piece of German chocolate cake, and I said to Toby Hara, I could eat 10 of these easy. And he goes, no, you can't. So we make a bet that I could eat 10 of them.
Swing and a drive to left field by Piscotty, and it's gone. He'd been a little quiet. And Piscotty knocked out his 23rd home run of the year. And he gives the A's a 4-run lead in the 7th inning.
Well, he got something up. Not sure if that was a fastball. Might have been a changeup. Hit it good, didn't hit it great. But he got it out of the ballpark.
Well, you go from Piscotty now to the dangerous Chris Davis, and he swings through strike one. All right, so the gauntlet's dropped.
So Toby goes to the hostess and asks her for 10 pieces of German chocolate cake. And so when they came back, there's 10 pieces on a tray. Only each piece was about twice as big as the one that I ate. So I tried to argue my way out of the bet. Finally, I relented, and I think I ate maybe like 7 of them. I was going to give it a shot to eat 10, but I couldn't do it. I could only stuff 7 down.
Felt pretty good after that,
so
I'm sure.
Every time I see Toby, he said, remember the time you tried to eat that German chocolate cake? I said, yeah, I would have eaten 10 if they were the same size as the one I ate first of all.
Ugh, disgusting. Grounder third. Nice backhand pick by Beltre. And he throws out Davis, one away here in the 7th inning. Now, could your boys eat?
Yeah. One of them can eat a lot more than anyone in our family. Yeah, Ben has an enormous appetite. He eats fast too. He could eat more than you could ever eat, faster than you could eat a normal meal.
Also with 2 hits in this one today, and he takes a strike. He scored a run. Oakland 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Rangers 3 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors.
The A's have scored 8 runs in each of their last 3 games. They got 7 today, and 6 or more runs now in 8 of their last 9 games. We talked about this in the series too. Their starting pitching really hasn't been that good, but their offense has carried it along with their bullpen.
Hard, but so far there at shortstop to make the play. Well, it is time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. This is one of the better stories. I love to see these stories. Guys who overcome their genetics to become great athletes anyway. That's Ben Grieve, former Rookie of the Year for the Oakland A's, in his big league debut. Now, were you there by any chance?
No, we were going to play them in like 2 days later, so I stayed home, and my wife and I came to Oakland with the team right after that. But Dave Magadan, who was the Rangers hitting coach for a couple of years, was on base at first base 3 times in that game when Ben hit a double. He hit 3 doubles in that game and drove in Dave Magadan all 3 times. And Ranger fans may have recognized the pitcher for the Giants in that game. It was Danny Darwin. Ben, I think, was a bat boy when Danny was playing here. Danny and I played together in Tucson. Danny was on his way up to the big leagues as a young player, and I was kind of on my way down. And I think Ben was probably 3 years old then. Danny used to pitch balls to him out in the parking lot, so he knew him pretty well for a long time. He always claimed that he served those pitches up because he liked him so much as a kid, but I don't think that's true.
So that was 1997, right?
Right.
Would that be right?
Yeah.
And times were different then in terms of our access to information, that sort of stuff. How did you keep track of the day, that day?
If I remember right, I was doing the game with Bill Jones, who used to have a computer while he was doing the game, and he had like a little box up in the right-hand corner that would follow a particular game, and you could see who the hitter was and what he did. So I would kind of sneak a peek at his computer every time that I thought he might be up, but that's the only way you could do it back then.
We'll roll out to third, ends the inning, and we head to the 8th this afternoon. It's 7-3. Cunha Jr.
Yeah, you just look at that kid, and I mean, obviously he's having a great start to his career at a young age, but that kid's got star written all over him. He can do everything on the baseball field. One of those rare talents. I'm certainly not going to compare him to Mike Trout, but he's going to be a player that has a huge impact on the game. That's for sure.
Well, here we are now in the 8th inning. 7-3, Oakland on top. Rangers will send the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Odor takes outside, ball 1 from Jeurys Familia, making his 63rd appearance. And once again today, Bob Melvin taking advantage of his enormous staff of pitchers.
You know, the late inning guys, because the starters really aren't pitching all that well, they're not going very deep into the game. He's having to use these guys a lot. He's got 4 or 5 late inning guys that several of them have been closers. Familia's been a closer, but he's having to use them a lot. Familia, when he pitched in the first game of this series, pitched the 8th inning, threw a lot of pitches. He gave up a couple of hits, walked a batter, gave up a run, got through the 8th inning. But Profar hit a line shot to end that inning. Otherwise, he might not have gotten through the inning. So their workload has been pretty heavy. Not like they've got starters going in 7, 8 innings and you can alternate them every 2 or 3 days. He's having to use these guys a lot. Trevino, Buchter, the lefties, pitched every game of this series. And Familia pitched the first game, had yesterday off, but he threw a lot of pitches on Friday night.
I mean, their closer, Blake Trinan, has pitched in the first 2 games of this series as well. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure he'd rather not have to do. Soft liner to the left side of the infield and a nice backhand grab made by Chapman. There are 2 away. Yeah. He's a nice player.
Wasn't hit very hard, but he still had to use a lot of quickness to get to it. With the shift, he's basically playing shortstop now, and that's a little soft slicing ball. Not a hard play because it wasn't hit very hard, but still a little bit of a difficult play to make because you have to go so far to catch it.
Now Beltre with 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Familia runs it inside.
The kind of inning Bob Melvin hopes for when he brings these guys in like this is what could be a quick inning for him. It's only 5 pitches right now. Pitching frequently is not that big a deal if you pitch 8 or 12 pitches every time you go out there, but when you start to get up in the 20s, it's hard to go out there frequently.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2 the count on Beltre. Beltre, an RBI single today, 1 for 3. Hit 2 home runs yesterday. He's been swinging a really hot bat lately for the Rangers. One, 2. Check swing, and that one down the first baseline just does go foul. It's a fortunate foul ball for Beltre. That one left the bat. I'm sure his heart sank momentarily because it looked like, oh no, it's going to be an accidental ground out to first. Familia's 1-2. It bounces. Now Rangers had a lot of opportunities early. They scored a run in the first inning. An inning, though, I think they'll look back on and wonder what if. Caught stealing, a sac fly on a 2-0 pitch with the starter Cahill, who just could not throw strikes. And a quick third out. Seemed like there was a lot more in that inning than just one run waiting for the Rangers. A fly ball out to right field. Chases Piscotty back a little bit. He'll make the catch and the inning is done. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in Oakland where the A's lead the Rangers by 4.
Inning for the A's. Franklin Barreto lines one to right field with men on second and third. That scores a run. A wild pitch would score another run. Nick Martini, a smash to second. It goes as a single. The throw hits the umpire and allows another run to score. And then Ramon Laureano just misses a home run, hits it off the 3 of the 388 sign for another run. And the A's put up a big inning. 5 runs in the 4th inning. That really was the story of the game.
That proves to be the difference in this one so far. It's now bottom of the 8th inning, bottom of the order. Franklin Barreto, the hitter, 1 for 3. Moore's done a nice job in long relief. He gets ahead 0-2. Moore came in to get the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. It's the scoreless 6th. Gave up a run in the 7th inning on the Piscotty homer. There's a swing and a miss. So he strikes out Barreto. 1 away here in the 8th inning. Well, just one remaining Saturday night home game left in the season. We invite you to be at the ballpark Saturday, September 22nd. Rangers Mariners, 7:05 first pitch. And you can get your tickets for the last Saturday night game of the season, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. Hard to believe, only one homestand remaining, only one road trip remaining after this one. Moore's first pitch, and that one in there for the strike. Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy 0 for 1. He grounded out of the 6th inning. Josh Fagley started the game at catcher. He only got 1 at bat. Matt Joyce pinch hit for him in the 4th inning walked, and then Lucroy since then. Fouled over to the right side, out of play. So Moore once again ahead of a hitter. 0-2 the count. Jonathan Lucroy, very durable. They've used him a lot this year. He's in a nice season for Oakland. 4 for 8 in the first 2 games of this series, scored 3 runs. Swings and misses, strike 3. So Moore has the strikeout working in this 8th inning. Two away, and now Jeff Bannister signals to his bullpen, so he makes the walk out there. He's going to take the baseball from Moore, who does a really nice job this afternoon, and Austin Bivens-Dirks will be summoned in the 8th.
Rangers after a DeShields and Chu walk. Ruby rips one up the middle for an RBI. That scores Delino. And a little bit later, Adrian with a base hit to right field will score Chu. Rangers had 2 hits after a couple of walks to score 2 runs in the 3rd inning. That's our Coors Light refreshing finish.
Well, Austin Bivens-Dirks comes on here in the 8th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. Chad Pender into the 6th inning. So 1 for 1. And Bivens-Dirks, the 4th reliever used by Jeff Bannister this afternoon. That one, the outside corner, 1 and 1 to count, rather 1 and 1 to count. A's trying to win their 87th game of the year. Now, they've already won this series. It's 13 straight series. They've either won or tied here at home. Bouncer up the middle. Lindor has it, throws over to first, and that will end the inning. By the way, that is a record for the A's. All right, last chance for the Rangers coming up, down by 4.
Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right.
Beautiful scenes all around the Bay Area. We are inside the Oakland Coliseum, and the Rangers trying to do something here this afternoon that just has not been done this year. See if they can come back from a deficit in the late innings against Oakland. Ninth inning, down by 4. Jurickson Profar will start things off against Blake Treinen, the closer for Oakland, on here with a 4-run lead. An ERA well below 1 for Treinen. He has been superb. A little bit inside, 2-0 the count.
Well, Trevor Cahill struggled, but the bullpen sure hasn't struggled. The Rangers got all 3 of the runs off Cahill in 3 innings, but they haven't done anything since then. Lou Trevino gave up a couple of hits, and that's all the Rangers have had since then.
Two balls and a strike on Profar. Treinen is the 8th pitcher used by the A's today. And this ball hit up the middle. Simeon, though, positioned well. And has a routine play to get Profar 1 out here in the 9th inning.
If Treinen gets out of this 9th inning without giving up a run, the bullpen will have pitched 6 1/3. 2 hits, no runs, no walks.
This has basically been a bullpen series for Oakland. They used 7 pitchers in Friday night's game, 7 pitchers last night. Today, 8 pitchers with Treinen. But as we mentioned earlier, they have 20 pitchers on their roster, on their active roster. So month of September, you can have up to 40 players on your roster. And so the A's have made sure to have all the depth they need in that bullpen. 1-strike pitch. Guzman fouls it away. It's 0-2. It certainly is an oddity, though, right? Baseball, the most important games of the year, or so it would seem. And we play them under completely different rules.
Yeah, I'm all for the people that have suggested expand the rosters, but have a 25-man roster for every game. You can take people on and off a roster for each game, but just not have 35 eligible players for one of the games.
Slow, 1-2. I meant to check before the ball game today, but of course I did not. But I'm wondering, you know how you in the postseason you have to set a roster for each series. The wild card, is that a different roster, let's say, than you would use then in the very next series, or does that have to be the same roster? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boy, this ball hit well out to right field. And back toward the wall for it. Piscotty. 2 away. The reason I ask that is because, you know, that one wild card game, I mean, it puts such a burden on those 2 teams to get into the wild card game. You know, how do you manage your pitching, and how will it affect you then in that next series? But if they are different rosters with as much depth as Oakland has, they could go out, let's say, against the Yankees in that wild card game, and they could have a ridiculous bullpen and just make it a bullpen day.
Yeah, I would say unless something changes in their rotation, that there's a pretty good chance that's what you will see, because that's the strength of their pitching staff right now. Mike Fiers is probably their best starter right now, so he might start that game and pitch as far into it as he could. But yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see all 5 of their 4, 5, 6, however many it is they have, quality late inning guys pitching that game.
1-1 the count on Willie Calhoun. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Early opportunities for the Rangers. You could argue they did not cash enough of those in, and then just a tough 4th inning where Oakland got loose for 5 runs. That seems to be the difference, and it will be the difference. A ground ball to the left side, that ends it. A 1-2-3 9th inning for Blake Treinen and the Oakland A's. They sweep this series. A 7-3 final on this Sunday afternoon. And the season series done as well. Well, Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, and Darren Oliver back home in the studios, ready to break this one down for you this afternoon. For Tom Grieve and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Thank you for watching today. We invite you to stay with us. More Rangers coverage coming up right after this.